Whenever you're ready. Come on in.
Hey, Mike.
Hey.
Hilary standing from Hilary Brewing
Hey,
Company.
Hilary. Why don't you take a seat? You bet.
First off, I just want to thank you for meeting with me. I know you're busy, so I really appreciate it.
Not a problem.
So I see you're a runner. Do you do that for fun or competition or?
Neither. I do it so I don't become fatter than I already am. I mostly do it, not for competition, God no. I do it for fun, relaxation-ish, but mostly just to kind of break even.
So you don't do any like 5Ks or anything?
Yeah, I do that. There's usually some type of a social event attached to it. So, the Crazy Legs is in Madison every year, and it ends in Camp Randall, and they have a big party there and free beer. So my daughter and I always run that together. So it's usually tied to some social. I'm not doing it for time,
Yeah, for
but it's kind of a goal thing too. But yeah, I do a lot of 5Ks. I did one marathon in Chicago a while ago, but mostly it's just to kind of stay relatively in shape.
Well, if you're ever looking for a good one, Norwalk is relatively close to here, less than an hour. They have one, Rails to Trails. It's actually this next weekend. There's 5K, 10K, half marathon.
Heard that. That actually ends in
marathon.
Trempealeau, doesn't it? No, that's a different one.
Oh, that's different. But
but it's on the bike path, the bike trail?
It's on the bike trail, so it's super easy because it's a flat course, but it's really cool because you actually run through like the old train tunnels.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well, you can't run through some of them. You got to walk, don't you?
One of the
Or do they
tunnels
have
is
lights
like
in
a
it?
mile long. You have to,
I've been through it. It like rains on you. It's pretty cool.
But you also get a beer when you finish, so that's good.
Okay, Rails to Trails. Got it.
It's actually next weekend, yeah. So, all right, so I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you're busy, so you might
Sure.
have to ask you a few questions.
Please do.
All right, so for starters, I know that Old Crow is big on bourbon, beer, and burgers. So
Yep.
focusing more on the beer part of it,
Mhm.
what issues do you think you're having with like your craft beer selection?
It's kind of a guessing game on matching the beer to the taste of our clients. And so our customers are kind of mixed. We have a local crowd, but then we have a lot of business crowd, convention crowd, tourist people coming into town for different events. So that's kind of about half our business is the folks that are just in La Crosse touring and visiting, and the other, or for business, and the other half are just our regular customers that are local. And trying to match what their wants and needs are, their tastes to the beer selection is kind of a tricky business. I think there's a assumption when you go into a place like ours that we're going to have crafted beer, and we're not just going to have the large domestics like Bud Light and Miller Lite. In bottles, yeah, but not on tap. So what do we want on tap? That's the issue that we're trying to work with right now.
So do you think you have like too small of a selection to meet exactly what all these people are wanting?
It's hard to tell. If we have larger tap handles, then we have more inventory. Some of the beer that doesn't sell through gets kind of stale, so that's an issue, and then we got to clean the tap lines out. But it's either we need a couple more or we need different ones on there. And it does appear that there is a sense that when people travel, especially, they want to have local beers. And they want to have local craft beers. So if they get a Sam Adams, let's say, you can get a Sam Adams anywhere. So someone from Minneapolis that's in La Crosse for a convention, and they say, what local beers do you have? And we don't have those. Then we're kind of in a spot.
So with that limited selection kind of on the local beers, do you think that is overall like affecting the customer experience and customer satisfaction when they're going downtown La Crosse?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's a point of differentiation for us, and it's a point of disappointment if someone comes in, they're expecting a local craft brew, knowing that most communities our size have a bunch of different local brewers, and we don't have an offering of at least one or two. They're likely disappointed, and we don't want customers to leave disappointed.
So with having like a more broad beer and also possibly a bourbon selection, what do you think the importance of that is to the Old Crow?
It for sure allows us to make sure we're hitting all our market points. So almost any customer that walks in, we're able to take care of their wants and needs. That we feel that we're doing it with confidence, that we're not missing on something, and they're going to hopefully pass that along through word of mouth. You got to go there. They have great food, and their beer selection is fantastic. And that's in the beer drinking world. That's usually a phrase that's used on pass along through word of mouth or through social media.
All right. So with having a larger beer and possible bourbon selection, also, what benefits do you see for your customers?
More enjoyment. Hopefully, buying more than one beer because they're enjoying themselves. They stay longer. They eat and drink longer. The benefit, of course, for us is we sell more. So it's good all the way around.
Well, I think I got a lot of really good information today. I'm going to take this back to the brewing company and see what options we have for you. Would you mind setting up another meeting in a couple weeks? I could bring in some samples just to show you what we have to offer.
Sure, that'd be great.
All right, thank you.
You bet.